Days to go before the midterm elections, the Democrats are grasping at straws, embracing a number of strategies to try and save themselves before Judgment Day. And according to their official news outlet, the New York Times, they're adopting a strategy of triage, trying to save any seats they can over at the White House. We have our hatchet man, David Axelrod. He continues to pound home the DNC's baseless attack on Karl Rove and Ed Gillespie in the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. He and the administration claim that the former Bush administration officials and the chamber are using foreign money to influence the upcoming elections, and Axelrod has requested that the chamber disclose all of its donors. Now, this is ironic and a request coming from a man who worked on the Obama campaign back in 2008, a campaign which refused to take even elementary measures to prevent fraudulent donations. Now, according to the Washington Post, it, quote, chose not to use basic scrutiny measures to prevent potentially illegal or anonymous contributions. So what this administration fears most is that, like in the last gubernatorial elections in New Jersey and Virginia, voters will repudiate its failed policies and send the Democrats packing. Well, my next guest did just that. In fact, his first month as the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, he turned the state's $2 billion budget shortfall into a $220 million surplus. If I were a Democrat, I'd be scared too. And joining me now is the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Bob McDonnell, is back with us. All right, how do you make
Sean,
that kind of change economically in such a short period of time?
Well, the first thing we did is reject the $2 billion tax increase that my predecessor had left me in the introduced budget. And we said, look, families are struggling, businesses are struggling. What we've got to do now is set priorities, and we've got to cut spending. We look at the national debt of $13 trillion, growing at a $1.5 trillion a year. We know that's not the direction for prosperity for the American free enterprise system. So we made tough choices. We cut billions in spending back to 2006 levels. Hiring freeze, reformed our retirement system, and ended the year with a $400 million surplus, Sean. So I think it's the right track. Fiscal conservative principles work.
Look, I agree with you, and I'm looking at, you know, taking a sledgehammer to our kids' and grandkids' piggy bank, and I'm very concerned about their future. I want you to go into some detail here, because I'm arguing that if the Republicans take back Congress and they get a hold of the purse strings, that their task is going to be very difficult. How did you get it to go back to 2006 spending levels? How do you implement a hiring freeze? And how do you have pension reform when you're dealing with unions?
I think it's all about making tough choices. I've got a Democratic Senate, Republican House, but after a little bit of discussion, everybody realized that we had some serious long-term structural problems in our budget. We had great uncertainty created by Washington and here in Virginia, and if we did not reduce spending, we were going to force either major tax increase proposals in the future, or we were going to be losing jobs and opportunities for our citizens. So the only way we could get there was this collective bipartisan effort to really cut spending. And we cut health care, we cut education. We cut some things that were generally off limits in the past that are core services, but it was the right thing to do. And you know what, Sean, when you cut spending, you force people at all levels to do things smarter. We started a government reform commission, and we've adopted about 90 different ideas through this commission, from ABC privatization to hiring freezes to consolidating boards and commissions to getting rid of different things that are outdated. All of those save money, and I think that's what this new Republican Congress that I hope will be in place in a couple months needs to do. Make tough choices, realize you got to set priorities, and in the end run, it's good for business and it's good for better opportunities for our people.
John Boehner is talking about cutting spending back to 2008 levels. Do you think it's possible they can go back to 2006 levels nationally?
Boy, with all the entitlement programs that have been created over the years, Sean, I think that's probably tough in the short run. But if they don't balance the budget within the next few years, we are going to be a debtor nation for a while to come. It's very unfortunate. $13 trillion, $42,000 for every American family. That's why I think the Republicans are going to win this time, is everybody realizes it's an unsustainable and immoral long-term debt on our kids and our grandkids, and we've got to make the tough choices. We can't have government guarantee outcomes. We guarantee opportunity for people to compete in the marketplace of ideas and compete in the free market. So I think it's incumbent that if the Republicans win, their mandate will be reduce spending, be more innovative, don't try to be everything you can be, don't mandate things on the states like $1.7 billion in new unfunded mandates for Medicaid through this Obamacare bill. Don't try to take over the banks and the GM and the student loan industry and the healthcare industry. Let the markets work a little bit better, and ultimately competition will create more power, more quality for less prices. And I think if the Republicans deliver on just those basic issues, they'll be successful.
The majority, look, anybody that follows the federal budget knows, and I talk about earmarks, but relatively speaking, it's insignificant in terms of the percentage of the federal budget. We know that the real dollars are in entitlements. And we just adopted a new entitlement, which is why I think Obamacare needs to be repealed. But, you know, if you think back when the Republicans took over Congress in '94, when they proposed reducing the rate of growth of Medicare to 7% a year every year for 7 years, Democrats demonized them as trying to kick grandma out on the street. If they try and tackle entitlement reform, it's going to be Republicans want granny and grandpa on the street and they want them to eat dog food. That's going to be the argument that they make. So how would you advise them to prepare for that inevitable battle?
Well, because it's not accurate. I've never seen a time, Sean, as we cut literally about $6 billion out of the last 3 years' budgets, that people were more receptive in understanding the need to cut back when you've got one of the worst economic situations in modern history, when you have the major sacrifices that families and businesses are making. They know you've got to do that with government, too. So that's a bad argument. They need to be just stick to their principle and realize that without these cutbacks, that we've got long-term fiscal problems for our kids that is really not good.
All right, Bob, it's a great success story, and I think it's a great model for a lot of states and hopefully the federal government to follow. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, Sean, great to be back on with you. Thanks.
Appreciate it.